Watch the news for just 30 seconds, and you can instantly tell that the world is on a downward spiral. Violence, disaster, depression. Things are not good. Hi, I'm Skip Tanner, and if you're like me, then I know you think about what's going to happen when America finally bursts at the seams and goes down like the Titanic. You know you need to protect yourself and your loved ones when the nightmare becomes dark, harsh reality, because your family is counting on you to make all the right decisions. So if you understand that, if you know you cannot let them down, and you're willing to do whatever it takes to survive, then this is the most important presentation you're ever going to see. Because I'm willing to show you exactly how to do it, easily, quickly, and with as little money as possible. You see, ever since I was a little boy, having grown up in hurricanes and flooding, I've been learning, researching, and prepping. Even before prepping was prepping, I just had an innate instinct to survive. Today, I refuse to be caught unprepared. How about you? I got so into this stuff that I now run a little website you may be familiar with, expertprepper.com. I've become the go-to guy for the most discerning preppers out there. It wasn't easy to get to where I am today. I've worked hard, and I've made a lot of mistakes along the way. I can admit that because now I know better. Today, I'm going to show you what to do and what not to do so you can avoid making mistakes. I'll start by revealing 5 deadly oversights nearly every prepper makes. Critical things that could mean the difference between life and death. That's why I developed expertprepper.com too, to inform, to teach, and to help, before America as we know it is no more. And there are many outside influences ready to make that warning a reality. Now take China for example. They snatched our economy right from under our noses because our own government sold us out. How? We're in debt to them for $1 trillion, and they're more than happy to hold that debt. Why? Well, you see, China's economy relies on keeping its own currency, the yuan, weaker than the US dollar. That way, the products they ship out to the US are cheaper than the stuff we make here. That creates instant job security for the Chinese and a shaky future for our own Made in the USA campaigns. And today, the balance of power has finally started to shift into China's favor. Once that momentum comes to rest, America's economic collapse is imminent. Our banks will crumble, and we'll see hyperinflation similar to that of post-war Germany in 1923. In about 7 months, Germans went from paying 1,200 marks for a loaf of bread to having to pay 200 billion marks for the same bread. Yeah, that's billion with a B. Now, this happened just before World War I broke out. Germany took their money off the gold standard that gave their money its value, so their cash effectively became nothing more than a simple piece of paper that was valued by the word of the German government. Do you see where I'm going with this? Does that sound familiar? It should. The U.S. government defines our paper's value too. Nixon took our very own greenback off the gold standard on August 15, 1971. That was the beginning of the end of our economy. Imagine seeing prices on shelves and at the gas pump double, even triple in a couple of months. Catastrophe. Why am I telling you all this? I'm here talking to you right now because I believe you're serious about being prepared for the dark times that will come after everything falls apart here in America. And trust me, friend, I wouldn't be wasting my time here with you if I didn't believe you were serious. Remember, I've made this my life's work. Let me be blunt so you and I are clear. If this wasn't urgent, neither you nor I would be here. Now that we've established that being prepared for the fast-approaching dark ages is something that's critical to your future on this planet, I need to make one more thing painfully clear before I start. What I'm about to reveal to you is not for everyone. If you're a tire kicker or are just checking this out, then I'm asking you right now to close this window and go back to sorting through all the junk mail in your inbox. I didn't carefully create this presentation for just anyone, and you'll only get benefits out of this if you know and understand the value of being ready and the consequences of not. I agreed to do this presentation only if I could do it in a frank, explicit way, with candor and using adult language, so you need to be able to handle what I'm about to tell you, as well as serious about acting on it. If that's not you, then no hard feelings. I won't be offended if you leave. As I said, I refuse to waste my time or yours. But if I'm right about you, and you are taking this very real threat as seriously as I am, then you're going to be shocked at what I have to tell you, and then ultimately relieved when I share the solution that only a handful of preppers will truly get. I want you to be in that small but mighty group. Now, before we get started here, I have to tell you something that is really kind of a prelude for the rest of this powerful presentation. You may have begun putting together your bug-out supplies and have chosen a solid, secure, and comfortable location for your eventual new home. If you haven't done any of this yet, you're in the right place, because I'm about to show you how to do it right, and give you the tools you'll need to not only survive the apocalypse, but to actually enjoy your new life. Because a whole lot's going to change for you and your loved ones. If you are in any of the prep stages, then you will also benefit greatly from what I have to share, because it involves 5 mistakes that nearly every prepper makes. Now here comes the speech. I need your complete, undivided attention here, because what I'm about to tell you could save your life and the lives of those you care most about. Close down your email. X out of any other less important sites you may have in your tabs. You're only going to want this one window open, and I need you to concentrate because I move through this kind of fast, and I need to be able to get to everything for you. All I have to share here builds up to the grand finale, your ultimate prepping solution. So if you get distracted and miss any points along the way, you won't be able to catch up. So close down all unnecessary windows, and let's get started. I'll give you a second. The 5 critical items most preppers forget. Let me start right off with the 5 things you won't want to live without. I'll count them down for you. Number 5, the reality check. Always prep within your means, and don't buy items you wouldn't eat or use yourself. I see preppers making the mistake of loading up on rice even though they don't eat it. Unless you plan to trade items off, make sure you get things that you both want and need. Number 4, Faraday cage. Now, this is one of those best-kept secrets in our world. Invented by Michael Faraday in 1836, this enclosure protects your electronic gear from lightning and electrostatic charges, like the electromagnetic pulse weapon. You can build your own cheaply. Now, if you want to be sure your radios and other electronic devices work no matter what, don't forget this critical item. Number 3, multi-use items, like vinegar. It moonlights as a solvent, used in first aid, and is a great disinfectant. Other multi-use items are duct tape, a good Swiss Army knife, a rain catch, and a pillow. Now, how many others can you think of? Number 2, become a hoarder. That's right. Stack these additional items and stack them high. Heavy-duty garbage bags, used for ponchos, sunshade, holding gear, and emergency flotation devices. Paracord or strong cord to lash sticks for shelter, fishing line, and shoelaces. Even if you don't see use in one or more of these items, someone else will. You get my drift? Bartering. For the final major item you can't prep without, I need to tell you a little story to set it up, because it will make much more sense when you hear what happened to me. Now here's where I start bringing everything together, so when we get to the end, you'll understand exactly what you need to do and why. If you need a drink or a bathroom break, go ahead and tap the center of this video to pause it. Then hurry back. You see, there's so much you need to be prepared for America's coming collapse, more than I could ever show you here. And there's plenty more you need to know about prepping, even if you think you know it all. To be sure you'd get all of this critical information, I sat down and took the time out to write an ebook. In it, you'll find everything you need to survive the most hostile conditions, created by anything from an EMP, that electromagnetic pulse, which will render all machines and gadgets useless, to a full and permanent blackout. No power equals mass chaos and mayhem, right down to an all-out state of war. In just a moment, I'm going to tell you how to reserve your advanced copy for instant download. I don't think you should have to wait to get started. It's that important. First, let me share a rather unusual story with you. Now, I say unusual because, as you may guess, as a prepper, I'm a hunter, and I'm no slouch. I'll use a gun to score a fresh kill, but I just adore the mind, body, spirit aspect of bow hunting. It's truly, in my opinion, the way God intended for us to get our meat. So, you'll understand why this story is so unlikely for a guy like me. Plus, there's a lesson for you here that I'll reveal at the end. Okay, not too long ago, I had a doe within about 35 yards through relatively heavy cover. A hard shot, but not impossible. And considering the fact that it was raining in buckets, I figured that she was going to be my only chance for some meat for the freezer that day. About 15 feet up in a tree stand, I drew back on the bow. In one steady motion, she didn't catch the near-silent zzz sound as I pulled my arrow into position, but for whatever reason only known to her, she took 2 steps behind a tree. Now all I could see was her rump, and I was forced to hold my draw for what seemed like an eternity. Finally, she cautiously knocked her way back around the tree and gave me a quartering toward shot. I put the pin of my sight on her and released. The arrow flew straight and true, a beautiful shot, if I may say of my own skill. Just as I was admiring my great prowess, the arm-like branch of a tree seemed to reach out as if protecting the doe. Anyway, the arrow found this arm before it found the deer. The cartoon-like ping sound was all it took to force her into the trees, and just like that she was gone. With bow hunting, even when everything is perfect, nothing is perfect. I was able to recover the arrow, though. The moral of the story here is hunting may be in our DNA, but that doesn't mean we don't need to practice. Practice as often as you can on a variety of targets. Not doing so could cause you to perish if you fail. So what does that story have to do with the #1 survival item you can have? Well, you can probably figure it out, but I'm going to tell you in a moment anyway. Which brings me to the sole reason I've produced this video. Today, I'm offering you the exclusive and unique opportunity to change all that, take all the guesswork out of your survival plans, and allow you to say things like, "We will survive," instead of, "I think we'll be fine." In short, I'm going to give you an unfair advantage over all the suckers out there who don't think they need this guidance and don't take protection factors seriously like you and I do. So here it is. Your unfair advantage over the suckers out there. In just a moment, I'll tell you the #1 item most preppers forget about. But first, I'm going to tell you how you can get your hands on my ebook. It strategizes everything for you and gives you the unfair advantage only a handful of my closest friends and I have. And trust me, if I were you, I'd make absolutely certain I had this information. When it becomes you against them, you're going to need it. Right now, you have to ask yourself 2 questions. You've probably done or are doing a great job, but could you use the help of experts to assure you enjoy the status of ultimate preparedness? Do you want to be 100% sure without failure that you've done everything possible to see that you and your family are protected when the unthinkable happens? Well, if you said yes like I know you did, then stay with me. The grand finale is coming, and you'll soon know exactly what you have to do to get the protection you and your loved ones deserve. My ultimate survival guide. Now, earlier, I told you I took the time to write everything I know about prepping and put it all together in an ebook. Now I'm going to share it with you. The book is called The Expert Prepper's Ultimate Survival Guide, and it's a no-nonsense powerhouse guide to survival that leaves no stone unturned and leaves nothing to chance. You better believe that there's a wrong way to do this, friend, and this isn't like making a bird feeder. If you fail, you die. That's why I'm offering you my way, the right way to get this done economically, easily, and quickly. Is that arrogant of me to profess the superiority of the Expert Prepper's Ultimate Survival Guide? You betcha. That ain't bragging when it's true. Now let me show you what I mean here. This is just a snapshot of what you'll soon discover in this comprehensive, no-holds-barred book. Financial collapse. Our financial system is little more than a house of cards waiting to tumble and flatten out. China's got us right where they want us. Our national deficit is over $16 trillion, and as we've seen in the recent past, too recent for comfort. Banks thought too big to fail have caved. I'll reveal the insider truths on economic disaster. The threat of nuclear attack. Kim Jong-un inherited more than his father's goofy hairdo. He also inherited a strong hatred of America and all we stand for. As he gets closer to launching nukes at our California shorelines, and most recently declared target, Austin, you'll want to know what to do in the event of a creeping nuclear fallout. How far will it travel? And should you stay in or bug out? The backcountry Death Star. If you run out of ammo, and your last arrow's out on loan, and you're sick of fish, you still need to know how to hunt. The backcountry Death Star will become your new best friend in the field. I'll show you how to easily collect the materials, make one, and use it so you won't go hungry. Now, there are 2 ways to make fire. Why would you need 2 different methods for creating fire? I can honestly tell you, for all the reasons you can't think of, that's why. Discover the secret to creating roaring fires for warmth and cooking, no matter what the conditions. Plus a special bonus. How to start a fire in the rain and the snow, food preparation and preservation. Eating tainted foods can at least make you sick and sluggish, or worse, kill you and your loved ones. I'll reveal the correct method for properly and safely canning your foods for storage. You'll enjoy an unbelievable shelf life for your fruits and vegetables, meats and fish. Now you'll discover this and much, much more, all at your fingertips, all instantly available for download. The Expert Prepper's Ultimate Survival Guide is truly the only guide you're ever going to need. 127 pages of pure prepping gold. You'll also discover how and what to stock up on to trade others when the time comes. Hint, think cigarettes. Why you should never freeze your food in the snow. How to keep meats completely free from bacteria. Hint, it's an old French secret. How to effectively barter without losing control, so you get what you want and need every time. How to collect potable drinking water from a variety of sources. What to do in order to fortify your home against attack from the scavengers looking to take what you have, or worse, your life. How to choose defensive weapons to protect the lives and belongings that matter most. What you'd better have in your first aid kit. These items are mostly overlooked and could mean life or death. Don't be caught without them. In short, you're going to discover how to survive and protect your family no matter what the situation is. With your copy of the Expert Prepper's Ultimate Survival Guide by your side, you'll have the confidence in yourself you're going to need to get through the toughest of times. Now I know I have competition out there, and I know you have choices, but I want you to be sure you make the right one for you. Because I also realize that my competition is pushing you, trying to hard sell you on their products. So I did a little independent research and testing to see what they had. Can you guess what I'm about to say? Yeah, I went through the order process of a prepping site which shall remain nameless. It took me 2 weeks to get the information I ordered. When it finally did come, it was about half the size of the Expert Prepper's Ultimate Survival Guide, for almost double the price. What a disappointment. And I'd hate to see you go through that, so I promise to get this to you instantly. As soon as you place your order, I'll send it right to your email inbox in a flash. Order right now, and you can start getting it all together for you and your family today. Now, my time is almost gone here, but I wanted to share one more quick thing with you. It's about the will of man. You see, many preppers get cocky. They like to talk it up and share what they've done with others, neighbors, friends, even the general public. And where they believe that they're just stroking themselves, they're actually putting their families at great risk. Why? Because when you realize the will of man and its incredible power, you'll understand the danger. If you're willing to do anything to protect your bounty, yourself, and your family, so are others. Now you go around bragging about your huge supply of food, your guns, and your ammo, And how long before your neighbors decide your things should be theirs? How many of them will you be able to plug before they take you down? Moral of the story here is keep your supplies and your prepping activity to yourself. Be very careful who you share this information with, because we're all going to be much different people when we shift into survival mode. Neighbor versus neighbor, civil unrest, looting, murder. You may win the attacks, but you may not too. Never underestimate the will of man. This book and everything in it is enough that could drive anyone to attack. Now, we both know you can't put a price on the safety and the protection of your life and the lives of your loved ones. But this book is so rare, and in order to make sure you use it completely, I need to charge you something for it, or it will have no value. How many things have you forgotten about or thrown in a box because you didn't pay for them? Now, don't worry. I have an incredible no-brainer offer for you right now. But let me warn you before I hand you this incredible offer. I may take this video and website down at any time at my discretion. Why? Because having to compete when everything falls apart will not be easy. But it will be a lot harder if everyone has the Expert Prepper's Ultimate Survival Guide teaching them what to do and what not to do. So I strongly suggest you place your order at the end of this presentation. If your family knew that you had the chance to do something to protect them and didn't, could you ever face them the same way again? Of course not. So let me show you what I have for you today. I could give the Expert Prepper's Ultimate Survival Guide away all day long at $100. After all, it could save your lives. And at that price, it really is a steal. But I want to make this easy for you, so you do the right thing. If not for you, for the people who matter most. I'm sure you agree by now that $57 is more than fair for all you get. I'm also sure you know I'm not done yet. Today, I'm prepared to go you one even better. You get all 127 pages of pure prepping gold right now for just $39.97. But you need to do this now before you forget. Because like I said, I reserve the right to pull this website and this offer at any time. That's the only catch. Actually, you may be wondering why I charge at all if our money will be useless. I have to, because it's not useless yet. Thankfully for us. I need to keep my site up and running for as long as I can, get the word out, and publish the fresh content you need as I learn about it. That's right. You'll also get updates on the fly, personally, from me to you, until the time comes that I can no longer send them. No power equals no internet. There's no reason for you to go it alone. I got your back so you can focus on what you need to. Prepping. Let me take care of the rest. Time to take action and protect what matters most. When I close this video, you'll be taken to a private, secure ordering page where you'll just fill out some information real quick, then you can check your inbox for your book. It's that simple. And let me remind you, your information is safe with me. After all, I'm a prepper and understand what it means to fly low under the radar. Plus, your purchase is 100% guaranteed for 60 days. Plenty of time for you to see how useful it is. Even if I take the site down, your guarantee still stands. So if you're not completely thrilled with the Expert Prepper's Ultimate Survival Guide, I don't deserve to keep your money. You just send me an email and I'll gladly return every penny, no questions asked, and no hard feelings. Again, simple. So, finally, what's the number one mistake preppers make, and what did it have to do with my story? The number one mistake that preppers make is that they don't practice enough. The old joke is a guy walks up to a New Yorker and asks, "How do you get to Carnegie Hall?" The New Yorker stops to think for a moment and answers, "Practice, man, practice." That's also the number one way to get in the mindset of what you'll be faced with when it all falls apart. You need to stay physically fit and practice shooting as much as you can. Rehearse your action plans, run scenarios. You'll be going through the motions explained in the Expert Prepper's Ultimate Survival Guide. Go through your inventory often to get habitually familiar with where everything is, so you can go right to it without thinking about it. And don't think of this as work. Think of it as fun with the family. When you practice and run your drills, get everybody involved. It will bring you all closer together, so that when the mayhem goes down, you'll already know exactly what to do and where to be. Give the kids specific jobs. Give your wife supreme rule over organization. Your job is to protect and bring home the bacon. Then, switch. That's right. Mix it up so everyone can discover his or her strengths. This is not a job, it's a lifestyle, and getting there should be fun, relaxing, and enjoyable for the whole family. That's the most important thing you can do. Now it's up to you. Will you do the right thing and use this information to protect yourself and your family when they need you the most? I knew you would. Because guess what? We've just scratched the surface here on the things most preppers forget or don't think they need. Remember, the Expert Prepper's Ultimate Survival Guide is over 120 pages of pure prepping magic for you and your family. You won't believe the other critical items most preppers miss, and you'll be shocked to discover how you can take control of a chaotic situation. It's all exclusively found in the Expert Prepper's Ultimate Survival Guide. And let me reveal one more shocking piece of information. There are others, even more critical items that nearly all preppers forget, let alone don't think they need. These items have been tested in the field and proven that if you don't have them, your chances of surviving beyond a few weeks after the disaster plummet exponentially every day. So I urge you to act now, because I don't know how long I'm going to keep this site up. The information in the Expert Prepper's Ultimate Survival Guide is so powerful that I'm only going to allow a certain number of orders, and when I reach my quota, I may remove this website for good. I want to...
Click the link right below this video to get started. And remember, if you decide at any point within the 60 days that this isn't right for you, I'll send you a full refund, no problem. You'll just have my sincere thanks for at least giving it a try. So click the link below, and I'll see you on the other side.